Hello and welcome. So the DNS from the perspective of troubleshoot. So few things you have to take into account. First thing first, at the physical layer, you have to check if the cables are working properly or not. Because if the cables are not connected properly, of course you are not going to get any kind of internet connectivity. Okay. So first you need to check the cables. Then second option is restart router because routers have that cache informations. Okay, so sometime they have the cache issues. So what you can do, you can restart your router and just wait for about 2 minutes and switch it on, and you will see and try check whether you are able to reach your desired website or not. In the third step, it is saying check the website by pinging. So like you can ping -c5, um, let's say google.com. So if the reply you are getting back, it means you do not have any kind of issues in regard to this website. So this could be the local issue. But if the ping does not show or respond, the issue is most likely on the server's end. Okay. Then in some cases we have to flush the DNS record because your computer is also have the cache. So whenever you are going to visit the website, it is going to store that information into those local computer cache. So sometimes just flushing out those DNS is also going to resolve the issue. Release and renew DHCP server IP because if you are getting this IP address dynamically, then it means your DNS options is also there. So usually we have two options to provide the DNS. So you will find the DNS IPs over here. So if you are more curious, what you can do, you can release and renew the DHCP server from your local machine. So the DHCP server is going to hand over the fresh IP or DNS information. Then change the public DNS server. If you have hard coded DNS servers, okay, so the DNS you have hard coded the first IP and second IP, sometime like 4.2.2.2 and 8.8.8.8. Most of the time we provide these two DNS IPs. So sometime maybe if the Google is down, or if these servers are down, you are not going to get the um, response from your website. So sometime you need to change the public DNS servers as well. The last thing is contact your ISP. And most of the time the ISP also black out either the either the website or the public IP address or even your own IP address as well. Okay, so in case if you have gone through these all options and nothing could happen or the solution didn't find, you can contact your ISP. Okay, so from the perspective of cybersecurity network security, most of the time we come across with two kind of DNS attacks. One is flood attack and second one is DNS tunneling or hijacking attack. So flooding attacks, we now been familiar with denial of services. So what happens, as you can see over here in the Wireshark, you can see the protocol is being used as DNS. It's frequently being attacked. We have different source and we have different destination, which is hitting to the same destination port, which is 53. Okay, so what will happen? I mean, we can just flood multiple DNS, request either to the same server or multiple servers, end up choking that server bandwidth. Okay, so this is how, if DNS will not able to handle multiple queries, then what will happen? Your reply will not come back. Okay, so you are not going to resolve IP to MAC, IP to name resolution, by the way. Okay, so these are called DNS flooding attacks. On other hand, we have DNS tunneling and hijacking attack, and this is bit complex, but DNS tunneling is a difficult to detect attack that route DNS request to the attacker server, providing attackers a covert command and control channel. So what it is trying to say over here, for example, we have this machine which is going to be a victim. Okay, then we have this attacker. Somehow he managed to penetrate that malfunction or worm, Trojan, or whatever the case might be. So that virus has been installed into the victim. So even if this victim is trying to go to www.google.com, but behind the scene, the IP address has been means the IP address for that Google, which is let's say 4.2.2.2, but has been spoofed with the hijacker's IP address, which is the website of his, let's say evil.com. Let's say the IP address is 91.91.1.2. So when this request will hit to the resolver server, DNS resolver server, it will look into it and it will say, no, I don't have this information. So I need to go to the top level domains. You have already covered those all, uh, uh, the sequence. Okay, it has to follow. Okay, so it will go through these all um, um, these scenarios one by one, and it will try to find out who has this IP address. And finally, you can see the attacker has its own application running or web service running with this public IP address. So the reply will go back to the victim machine, and hence now he is having the complete control over victim machine. So he can manipulate or he can exploit whatever he wanted to. So this is called DNS tunneling and hijacking. Okay, from the perspective of cloud computing, so I have already shown you the JSS has provided AWS Cloud Administrator Advanced course, where if you will take a look, we have S3 and Route 53, and Route 5353 stand for DNS. So this port number is allocated to DNS. So this is how you can remember Route 53. They are talking about the DNS. So you can see we are talking about Route 53 over here. And then we have domain registration and SSL, S3 certificates. Okay, so this whole series talking about DNS. If you are interested, you can request JSS to get this series. In that, we have common interview question and answers. So first thing is like they can ask what is DNS? Does DNS use TCP or UDP? How can you troubleshoot DNS issues? What is the difference between A record versus quad A record? Describe the complete process of DNS. Okay, so most of the time they ask you this question. Okay, so with that, our DNS topic comes to end. I hope you found it informative, and I'm going to see you in a